We begin our journey in Asia, specifically in the small and very wealthy island state of Singapore. In 1992, the government introduced a very strict law that made it illegal to import and sell regular chewing gum throughout the entire country. The reason behind this law was a costly and frustrating practical problem. At the time, the Singaporean government was spending over $150,000 every single year scraping chewing gum off sidewalks and, more importantly, off the doors of their new, expensive subway trains, which caused major delays in public transportation. In practice, the law means that you cannot buy chewing gum in supermarkets or kiosks. The only exception is medicinal gum, such as nicotine gum or specially formulated dental care gum, which has been available since 2004 at selected pharmacies. To purchase it, customers must present valid identification, and the pharmacist must record the buyer's name in a register. The fine for smuggling chewing gum into the country for sale can today reach up to 100,000 Singapore dollars and may also result in imprisonment. We move on to Europe and take a look at the alpine country of Switzerland. Here, the law concerns how people must treat their pets. In 2008, the Swiss government updated its animal welfare legislation with a section stating that social animals must never be kept alone. A very concrete example of this is guinea pigs. By nature, guinea pigs are herd animals, and scientific studies show that they become stressed and suffer if they do not have physical contact with others of their own kind. Therefore, it is simply mandatory to buy at least 2 at a time. However, this law quickly created a logistical problem for owners, because if one guinea pig dies of old age, you suddenly find yourself illegally left with a single animal. To solve this issue, clever entrepreneurs in Switzerland have set up actual guinea pig rental services, where you pay to rent a temporary companion for your remaining guinea pig until it also dies, after which you simply return the rented animal. In neighboring Italy, more specifically in the canal city of Venice, we find a local law from 2008 concerning the feeding of birds. In the very famous St. Mark's Square in the center of the city, there used to be tens of thousands of pigeons, and for many decades, local street vendors made a living selling small bags of birdseed to the millions of tourists who visit the square every year. However, the large number of pigeons posed a massive problem for the preservation of the city. The birds left enormous amounts of droppings on the city's old marble statues and historic buildings. Bird droppings are chemically highly acidic, and the acid was slowly eating away at the centuries-old monuments, while cleaning costs amounted to €275 per resident per year for Italian taxpayers. As a result, the city council made it illegal to sell birdseed and unlawful to feed the pigeons at all. Today, if local police see someone throwing breadcrumbs or seeds to the birds in St. Mark's Square, they can issue an on-the-spot fine of up to €500. We continue across the channel to the United Kingdom and look into British legislation known as the Salmon Act of 1986. In Section 32 of the law, there is a phrase that makes it illegal to handle a salmon in suspicious circumstances. It may sound like something out of a detective novel, but the law has a very clear purpose. It was written to stop organized poaching. The law makes it a criminal offense to receive or resell a salmon if you reasonably should know that the fish was caught illegally in a river. For example, if it was caught using illegal nets, poison, or without the proper fishing license. So if a man is standing in a dark alley in London offering to sell you a 10-kilogram fresh salmon from the trunk of his car at a remarkably low price, that is exactly what the law defines as a suspicious circumstance, and you would be breaking the law by doing business with him. The final law takes us to Germany, which is world famous for its extensive highway network, the Autobahn. On large parts of the Autobahn, there is no upper speed limit, meaning that many cars travel at over 130 kilometers per hour. Because of these high speeds, stopping in the emergency lane is extremely dangerous. Therefore, German traffic law states that it is illegal to stop on the highway unless there is a mechanical emergency, for example, if the car's engine suddenly breaks down. However, the law is very specific on one particular point. Running out of fuel or battery does not count as an unforeseen emergency. German police consider an empty fuel tank to be a direct human error, because the driver, according to the law, should have monitored the vehicle's gauge and refueled in time. If you stop for that reason, you will not only have to pay for roadside assistance, but will also receive a fine of between 30 and 70 euros for illegal stopping and for endangering other drivers.